You are standing in Aldi, staring at shelves full of options, and you have no idea which ones are actually worth putting in your cart. Now, get this, smart shoppers know something that you probably don't. Several of the most powerful foods for senior health are sitting on Aldi shelves right now, priced so low that most people walk right past them without a second glance. Today, we are counting down 10 of them. Number 10 is a food most seniors already like but are almost certainly not eating enough of. And the reason nutritionists push it for people over 60 will genuinely surprise you. 10. Canned wild-caught salmon. Most seniors think of salmon as an expensive treat, a restaurant splurge, something you buy fresh from a fish counter and cook carefully on a special occasion. Aldi changes that equation completely. Aldi's canned wild-caught salmon sits on the shelf for well under $3 and delivers something that nutrition researchers have been pointing to for decades as one of the most important nutrients for aging bodies: omega-3 fatty acids. Here is why this matters specifically for seniors. Omega-3 fatty acids reduce systemic inflammation, which is the underlying driver of conditions including arthritis, cardiovascular disease, and cognitive decline. A 2021 review published in the journal Nutrients found that regular omega-3 intake in adults over 60 was associated with meaningful reductions in inflammatory markers and improved cardiovascular outcomes. Beyond omega-3s, canned salmon is one of the best dietary sources of vitamin D, a nutrient that the majority of seniors are deficient in and that directly affects bone density, immune function, and mood regulation. It is also loaded with high-quality protein, which seniors need more of, not less, to preserve muscle mass as they age. Canned salmon requires no cooking skill. Mix it into a salad. Stir it into scrambled eggs. Flake it over whole grain crackers. Combine it with Greek yogurt and lemon for a simple spread. The nutritional return on a $2 and change investment is extraordinary. Nutritionists who work with senior populations consistently rank fatty fish among the most important dietary priorities for anyone over 60. Aldi puts that priority within reach of any budget. The food at number 9 looks completely unremarkable sitting in its bag on the shelf. But what it does for the aging brain has researchers genuinely excited, and most seniors are not eating nearly enough of it. 9. Frozen blueberries. Fresh blueberries are seasonal, fragile, and often expensive. Frozen blueberries from Aldi are none of those things, and nutritionally they are every bit as powerful as fresh, and in some studies more so. Blueberries are one of the most studied foods in nutritional gerontology, the science of aging and diet. Their core benefit for seniors centers on a group of plant compounds called anthocyanins, the pigments that give blueberries their deep blue color. These compounds cross the blood-brain barrier, something most nutrients cannot do, and accumulate directly in brain regions associated with learning and memory. A landmark study from the University of Exeter found that older adults who consumed concentrated blueberry supplementation showed measurable improvements in cognitive function, working memory, and brain blood flow compared to a control group. These were not young people. These were adults in their 60s and 70s, showing genuine, measurable cognitive benefit from a berry. Beyond brain health, the anthocyanins in blueberries reduce arterial stiffness, which is one of the primary drivers of cardiovascular disease in older adults. They also reduce oxidative stress, the cellular damage that accumulates with age and contributes to everything from joint pain to cancer risk. Aldi's frozen blueberries are available year-round, require no preparation, and cost a fraction of what fresh blueberries cost out of season. Add them frozen to oatmeal. Blend them into smoothies. Thaw them overnight and eat them with plain yogurt. Eat half a cup daily. That single habit, sustained consistently, is one of the most well-supported dietary investments a senior can make. Number 8 is a protein source that nutritionists call nearly perfect for seniors. It is inexpensive, endlessly versatile, and Aldi sells it at a price that makes eating it 3 or 4 times a week completely realistic on any budget. But before we go any further, if this list is already changing how you think about what goes into your cart, please hit that like button right now and subscribe. 8. Eggs. Eggs fell out of fashion for decades because of cholesterol concerns. The science has moved on significantly, and the rehabilitation of the egg as a nutritional powerhouse, particularly for seniors, is now well established in the research literature. Here is what the current evidence actually shows. For most healthy adults, dietary cholesterol from eggs has minimal impact on blood cholesterol levels. The American Heart Association updated its guidance to reflect this reality. Meanwhile, the nutritional profile of a whole egg is remarkable in ways that matter specifically to aging bodies. Each egg contains 6 to 7 grams of complete protein, meaning it delivers all essential amino acids in proportions the body can use efficiently. This matters enormously for seniors because muscle loss, called sarcopenia, accelerates after 60 and is directly linked to inadequate protein intake. Eating enough high-quality protein is one of the primary dietary levers seniors have against the weakness, frailty, and loss of independence that comes with muscle deterioration. Eggs also deliver choline, a nutrient critical for brain health and nerve function that the majority of older adults do not consume in adequate amounts. They provide lutein and zeaxanthin, two compounds that protect against age-related macular degeneration, the leading cause of vision loss in adults over 50. And they are one of the few food sources of vitamin D outside of fatty fish and fortified products. Aldi eggs are among the most affordable in any market. Buying them is not a budget compromise. It is one of the most nutritionally sound decisions a senior can make at any grocery store. What is at number 7 has been eaten by some of the longest-lived populations on Earth for centuries, and modern nutrition science has finally figured out exactly why. Aldi carries it for almost nothing. 7. Canned or dried lentils. Lentils appear in the diets of virtually every blue zone population, the communities around the world where people consistently live past 90 in good health. Sardinians eat them. Okinawans eat them. The people of Icaria eat them. Seventh-day Adventists in Loma Linda, California, eat them at rates that researchers have specifically identified as one likely contributor to their exceptional longevity. The nutritional case for lentils for seniors is overwhelming. 1 cup of cooked lentils delivers approximately 18 grams of protein and 16 grams of fiber. That combination matters enormously for aging digestive systems, where declining gut motility makes constipation a common and serious problem. The fiber in lentils feeds beneficial gut bacteria, supports bowel regularity, and reduces the risk of colorectal cancer, one of the most common cancers in older adults. Lentils also have one of the lowest glycemic indexes of any carbohydrate-containing food, meaning they raise blood sugar slowly and steadily, rather than producing the spikes and crashes that worsen insulin resistance, a condition that becomes more prevalent with age. For seniors managing pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, lentils are one of the most beneficial staple foods available. The iron in lentils addresses another common senior deficiency. The folate supports cardiovascular health by helping regulate homocysteine levels, elevated homocysteine being a well-established risk factor for heart disease and cognitive decline. Aldi's canned lentils cost well under $1 and require zero preparation beyond opening the can. Add them to soups, toss them into salads, simmer them with canned tomatoes and spices for a complete meal. The nutritional return per dollar spent on lentils is nearly unmatched anywhere in the grocery store. Number 6 involves a food that most seniors eat occasionally, but nutritionists want you eating multiple times a week. The specific reason why will change how you think about this humble staple permanently. 6. Rolled oats. Oats are one of the most researched foods in human nutrition. The finding that keeps appearing across decades of studies is consistent enough that the FDA approved a specific health claim for oat products in the 1990s, a designation it is given to very few foods. That claim is this: regular consumption of oat beta-glucan reduces the risk of heart disease. For seniors whose cardiovascular risk increases with each passing decade, that claim deserves serious attention. Beta-glucan is a soluble fiber found in the cell walls of oats. When you eat oats, beta-glucan forms a thick gel in your digestive tract that binds to cholesterol-containing bile acids, and carries them out of the body before they can be reabsorbed. Regular oat consumption reduces LDL cholesterol, often called bad cholesterol, by a meaningful margin without affecting HDL cholesterol. Beyond cholesterol, the beta-glucan in oats slows glucose absorption, helping stabilize blood sugar throughout the morning, which reduces energy crashes, supports cognitive focus, and benefits seniors managing blood sugar concerns. Oats also deliver magnesium, a mineral that a large percentage of older adults are deficient in and that plays roles in muscle function, nerve signaling, blood pressure regulation, and sleep quality. What many seniors do not realize is that oats also contain a unique antioxidant called avenanthramides, found almost exclusively in oats and nowhere else in the food supply. Avenanthramides have demonstrated anti-inflammatory and anti-itching properties in research, and early studies suggest they may help reduce blood pressure by increasing nitric oxide production in blood vessel walls. This makes oats not just a fiber delivery system, but a genuinely multi-layered cardiovascular food that works through several protective mechanisms simultaneously. For seniors managing multiple health concerns, that kind of nutritional efficiency matters enormously. Aldi's rolled oats are among the most affordable on the market. A large container costs well under $3 and provides weeks of breakfast. Add frozen blueberries from number 9. Add a boiled egg from number 8 on the side. You have just built one of the most nutritionally dense breakfasts available at any price point using Aldi products that together cost less than $4. Number 5 is a food that looks indulgent, but that cardiologists and nutritionists have been quietly recommending for seniors for years. Most people are shocked when they hear it belongs on a health list. 5. Dark chocolate. Aldi carries a range of dark chocolate bars under its Moser Roth label, typically available for under $2 for a high-quality product containing 70% cacao or higher. And the research on dark chocolate, specifically high cacao dark chocolate, for cardiovascular and cognitive health in older adults is genuinely impressive. The active compounds are flavonols, a class of plant-based antioxidants concentrated in cacao. Flavonols stimulate the production of nitric oxide in the lining of blood vessels. Nitric oxide causes blood vessels to relax and widen, which reduces blood pressure and improves circulation. For seniors whose arterial flexibility naturally decreases with age, this mechanism has direct cardiovascular relevance. A study published in the European Heart Journal found that regular dark chocolate consumption was associated with lower rates of cardiovascular events in a large observational cohort. Separate research from Columbia University found that high flavanol cocoa consumption improved memory performance in older adults by improving blood flow to the hippocampus, the brain region most associated with memory formation and most vulnerable to age-related decline. What makes dark chocolate particularly interesting for seniors is its effect on cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Chronic elevated cortisol is a serious concern in older adults, linked to accelerated cognitive decline, weakened immune response, disrupted sleep, and increased abdominal fat accumulation. A study published in the Journal of Protein Research found that participants who consumed dark chocolate daily for 2 weeks showed measurably lower cortisol levels compared to a control group. For seniors navigating health challenges, grief, or social isolation, that stress buffering mechanism adds a meaningful layer of benefit that goes well beyond heart health. The critical word is dark. Milk chocolate does not deliver these benefits in meaningful amounts. The threshold that researchers consistently use is 70% cacao or higher, which is exactly what Aldi's Moser Roth line delivers. 1 or 2 small squares daily, not a half bar. Not a reward yourself portion. A small, intentional daily dose of high-quality dark chocolate from Aldi is one of the most pleasant health habits a senior can build, and one of the most evidence-supported. What is at number 4 is something most seniors already have in their pantry, but are almost certainly buying the wrong version of. The right version costs almost nothing more at Aldi and makes a significant nutritional difference. 4. Extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil is a staple. Most seniors use some version of it regularly. But there is a meaningful difference between standard olive oil and extra virgin olive oil, and that difference is where all the health benefit lives. Extra virgin olive oil is cold-pressed from fresh olives with no chemical processing. This method preserves a group of anti-inflammatory compounds called polyphenols, particularly oleocanthal, that are largely destroyed in the refining process used to make standard olive oil. Oleocanthal works through the same biological pathway as ibuprofen, inhibiting the inflammatory enzymes COX-1 and COX-2. Regular consumption of extra virgin olive oil through this mechanism has measurable anti-inflammatory effects throughout the body. For seniors managing arthritis, cardiovascular disease, or any inflammatory condition, this distinction is clinically relevant. The pre-dimed study, one of the largest dietary intervention trials ever conducted, found that adults assigned to a Mediterranean diet supplemented with extra virgin olive oil showed significantly lower rates of major cardiovascular events compared to a low-fat control group. The olive oil was identified as a primary driver of that benefit. Aldi stocks extra virgin olive oil consistently and at prices well below what comparable quality costs at traditional grocery stores. Use it as your primary cooking fat for sautéing vegetables. Drizzle it over salads. Use it wherever a recipe calls for any type of oil. Replacing refined oils with Aldi's extra virgin olive oil is one of the highest impact single swaps a senior can make in their daily diet. Number 3 is a food that most seniors underestimate entirely. It looks plain, it sounds boring, but what it does for the aging gut, immune system, and brain is anything but. 3. Plain Greek yogurt. Aldi carries its Friendly Farms line of plain Greek yogurt at a price that makes eating it daily completely affordable. And nutritionists working with senior populations consistently rank it among the most important foods for older adults to prioritize. Here is why plain, not flavored, matters. Flavored Greek yogurts often contain as much added sugar as a dessert, which undermines the nutritional benefit and actively worsens blood sugar management. Plain Greek yogurt contains none of that. What it does contain is significant. A single cup delivers up to 23 grams of complete protein, making it one of the most protein-dense foods available in a grocery store. For seniors who struggle to meet daily protein targets through meals alone, a cup of Greek yogurt as a snack or breakfast base is an efficient and easy solution to a problem that directly affects muscle preservation and physical function. Plain Greek yogurt is also one of the best dietary sources of probiotics, the live beneficial bacteria that support gut microbiome health. Research increasingly links gut microbiome diversity to immune function, inflammation levels, mental health, and even cognitive performance in older adults. A compromised gut microbiome is associated with higher rates of depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. Feeding it consistently with probiotic-rich foods like plain Greek yogurt is one of the most accessible interventions available. The calcium and vitamin D in Greek yogurt also support bone density, addressing one of the most serious health risks seniors face. Add your frozen blueberries from number 9 on top. You have a breakfast or snack that most nutritionists would describe as close to ideal for a senior's daily needs. Number 2 is a food that belongs in every senior's kitchen year-round. It is anti-inflammatory, heart protective, immune boosting, and it costs almost nothing at Aldi. But most people only reach for it when they are already sick, which is exactly backwards. 2. Garlic is one of the most medicinally documented foods in human history. Civilizations across thousands of years used it therapeutically before modern science began explaining why. What modern science has found is substantial. The active compound in garlic is allicin, produced when garlic is chopped or crushed, and the enzyme alliinase is released. Allicin has demonstrated antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory properties in laboratory and clinical research. For seniors whose immune function naturally declines with age in a process called immunosenescence, regularly consuming garlic is one of the simplest dietary habits for supporting immune resilience. A Cochrane review, one of the most rigorous types of systematic evidence reviews in medicine, found that garlic supplementation reduced the incidence of the common cold. For seniors, a cold is not a minor inconvenience. It can progress to pneumonia or bronchitis with serious consequences. Anything that genuinely reduces susceptibility matters. Garlic also consistently shows blood pressure-lowering effects in clinical trials. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of Nutrition found that garlic supplementation produced meaningful reductions in both systolic and diastolic blood pressure, comparable in some studies to low-dose antihypertensive medication. For seniors managing hypertension, which is the majority of adults over 65, adding garlic to daily cooking is a free, side effect-free complement to medical treatment. Aldi's fresh garlic costs almost nothing. Use it daily. Chop it and let it rest for 10 minutes before cooking to maximize allicin production. Add it to olive oil, lentil soups, eggs, and sautéed vegetables. The food at number 1 is the one that nutrition scientists call the single most evidence-supported food for healthy aging. It is the one item that appears consistently across every major dietary pattern associated with longevity. And Aldi stocks it at a price that makes eating it every single day completely effortless. 1. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, and arugula. If there is one category of food that appears in virtually every research-backed dietary recommendation for seniors, in every longevity diet studied, in every nutritional guideline for aging adults around the world, it is dark leafy greens. Aldi carries fresh spinach, kale, arugula, and seasonal greens reliably and affordably. And the case for eating them daily, not occasionally daily, is stronger than the case for almost any other single dietary change a senior can make. Here is what the research shows. A study from Rush University Medical Center followed nearly 1,000 older adults and found that those who consumed 1 to 2 servings of leafy greens per day had cognitive function equivalent to people 11 years younger than their chronological age. The researchers identified vitamin K, folate, lutein, and beta-carotene, all concentrated in leafy greens, as the likely drivers of that protection. 11 years of cognitive age difference. From eating a cup of spinach daily. That is not a minor finding. The vitamin K in leafy greens is essential for bone mineralization, the process that keeps bones dense and resistant to fracture. Seniors with inadequate vitamin K intake have higher rates of osteoporosis and fracture-related complications. The folate supports cardiovascular health and helps regulate homocysteine. The lutein and zeaxanthin protect vision. The magnesium supports sleep, muscle function, and blood pressure. The iron addresses one of the most common nutrient deficiencies in older women. No single food checks as many boxes for senior health simultaneously. And yet, the most common reason seniors give for not eating more leafy greens is that they do not know how to make them taste good. The solution is sitting in your Aldi cart already. Sauté spinach in the extra virgin olive oil from number 4 with the garlic from number 2. Add it as a base under the canned salmon from number 10. Blend a handful of frozen spinach into a smoothie with the blueberries from number 9. Toss arugula with olive oil, lemon, and a few shavings of hard cheese. Dark leafy greens are the most powerful food investment a senior can make. Aldi makes that investment available every week for under $3 a bag. That is your list, 10 foods, everyone backed by real nutritional science. Everyone available at Aldi right now for a price that fits any budget. That is not a diet. That is a lifestyle. And it costs less at Aldi than a single meal at a mid-range restaurant. If this list is going into your grocery plan this week, hit that like button right now and subscribe. Every week we break down Aldi finds, health picks, and senior shopping strategies that are practical, affordable, and genuinely worth your time. The next video is already on screen. We are covering the Aldi shopping tricks that can cut your grocery bill significantly starting from your very next visit. You will not want to miss it.